and welcome to Sports Hub. Thank you so much for joining us. It's the first show in the month of March, and obviously we are happy because this is the month where we celebrate Youth Day, and also for women out there, it's also a month when we celebrate Women's Day. So it's a great month, and we're looking forward to this month because there's a lot of action in terms of national team AFCON qualifiers back-to-back on 23rd and also 26th this month. We also have the under-23 campaigning in the AFCON qualifiers as well. So it's a great month. But for tonight, I'm hosting a very special guest. He is from Brazil, and he's played football in Brazil and also Portugal. But he's now in Zambia, working in Zambia. So we'll be introducing that guest shortly. Make sure you don't move an inch. Stay with us. So we have a lot of segments on this program. We have a segment we call What is Trending, and on the program I have the usual suspects. I have Julius Malulu, who is a baller news writer, and also Ruth Gwedeza, a sports journalist. Well, good to have you guys. How are you doing?
Moren, I'm doing great, as usual. Let me say I was doing great until yesterday. But anyway, I don't want to get into that.
Man U fans.
I don't want to get into that right now, but yeah, I'm great. Julius.
Okay. All right. Yes, Julius, before we go for a break.
So it's great to be here, Moden. Thank you very much for having us, and it's good to be back. And we'll be getting to talk about what we're talking about and what's trending immediately we come back from the short break.
Okay, so we take a short break, and when we come back, Julius and Ruth will be taking us through what is trending.
Jazzy boy, Zambia, Zambia, King Dande, Kayambo, the king of the dance hall, Felix Feligo, let's go, Zambia, Zambia, Zambia. Zambia, ingijo mupira Zambia, atachi, mupike bola, ekunkulu shamuele tula, mupike, awe, nativa Zambia, nativa Zambia.
Big bola batea is back by Juju. If we bola tutea is back by fire. Bambi bashinteli la budu. Funny no gain no voodoo. I got the thing and I was sungu. All I need is a tape is sungu. Nangula tangile. All I need 9 days. Nangula ika gade. All I need 9 days. Nangula tangile. All I need 9 days. Nangula ika gade. All I need 9 days. All I need paise. Tule winalelo. All I need paise.
Well, those were great days. In 2017, when the Zambia Under-20 won the Africa Cup of Nations title. So, well, I know the current team didn't do well at the Africa Cup, but we have to celebrate the team that has done well. So we just had to revive those memories. But Julius, I didn't know that you have very good dance moves, eh?
It's just so sad that director was not able to, allow me to really show my moves.
He did.
But anyway, director, next time, please allow me to show my moves. I can do this. I can do this. I also saw you were doing great moves there. Hey, I think I get it from you.
Not really. So, guys, what's trending?
We have so much in us. What's trending is contained modern, but I'll quickly ask my colleague Ruth to take us through on the first two stories on the segment of what's trending.
Yeah, Modern, it's been a great week. It's been an interesting weekend. We have so much to share in terms of what's trending on social media and on all platforms. We have a story of Christian Asu. You remember Christian Asu, the Ghanaian who died, who tragically lost his life in the earthquake in Turkey. Remember we talked about him a few weeks ago. So his wife has been trending on social media. People are saying she actually filed for divorce prior to the player dying in Turkey. There's rumor that she had filed for divorce and she was going after his estate. So it's really sad that he died before everything was resolved. So there's a story is that he was actually having issues in his marriage, and the issues started, allegedly the issues started when his wife's mother, his mother-in-law, came to live with them whilst he was in Newcastle. So from there's been stories that the relationship that Christian had with his mother-in-law was kind of tumultuous. So it is the reason why he had to go and look for a club outside his comfort zone. That's why he ended up at Hatayspor in Turkey. It was due to the problems that he was currently facing with his wife. So I'm just seeing I don't know, I would call it a pattern or not, but I don't know what's happening with our African brothers. Whenever they make it, it seems like they always go for the, white ladies, let me call them. Yeah, so I don't know. You remember Shane Mosley, the boxer who, after a divorce, his wife actually went for his estate and she was awarded $6 million US, as well as his bail, 3 of his bails, and also his 6-room mansion. It was also given to the wife. So do you think, ladies, when it's black ladies going after white, they call them gold diggers? So I don't know, Julius, what do you think? What would you call such ladies?
Yeah, but I think with everywhere, every part of the world has got gold diggers. It's just not about Zambia. Basically, we've known gold diggers to just come from Zambia, but this shows you that obviously we do have gold diggers even from Europe, because automatically it shows you that there's some women that do follow money when it comes to players, especially for the fact, Modern, that these are our players, our African players, do get paid a lot of money when they go to Europe. So it's possible that women may just follow football. So it's just not in Africa, but even the white ladies also are gold diggers, and
exactly.
they do follow money when it comes to these
It looks
players.
like it's good business, huh?
Of course it is. I mean,
They really know how to secure a
bag.
bag. They're really good at securing a bag.
You know how much a player is getting, so obviously you would want to benefit, because at the end of the day, whatever money he's getting, he obviously has to, you're going to have a benefit. So it's about how much money he's getting paid, and it's about how much your share is. So for me, Ruth, that's my take. It's just not in Zambia where we have gold diggers, but even in Europe, we do have
it's
gold
good
diggers.
business. But again, it's the law. I mean, if you are married to someone, as a wife, certainly you are entitled to a share.
But let me ask you this question, Modern. Do you think this woman would have married Christian Asu if he had the regular job? Let me ask you that question.
That's a tricky one.
No, but anyway, they say love is blind. They say love is blind, so you never know. Even though he was to be a common worker, obviously she would accept, because the men, they say love is blind.
We'll
but anyway, beautiful family that is.
Indeed,
too bad that Christian had to go early.
Yeah, indeed.
Ruth, we have another story.
Yeah, still talking football, Modern. We have an interesting story. There's Sunderland's superstar, Luke Onyen. He had a moment last week when they were playing against Bristol City. We saw an interesting look at that. he jumped on the back of his opponent during a counter-attack. And the referee actually gave him a yellow card. For me, I think he deserved more than a yellow card. And what's interesting is that he actually gave him a kiss after he had realized what he had done. He quickly gave Scott a kiss on the cheek just to diffuse the situation, but that didn't stop the referee from giving him a yellow card anyway. And he took to Twitter and said he realized he was an idiot, and that, he said the tweets that he shared there, he said, right then we all established I'm an idiot, so let's have more fun. Best video edit or caption wins this signed Sunderland top from the boys. So he was actually offering his fans that anyone who captions this video well, he will be awarded a shirt.
But that reminds me of
Zambia.
No, it reminds me of what old coaches used to say, even defenders, that Pafuire pashala chimopari bola no muntu. So one should remain between the ball and the person. One has to remain.
Exactly. But for me, I think more than my take is, I think there was nothing wrong with that. It was one way of trying to save his team. You remember,
but how do you save a team?
But if I can
making a foul like that
if I can take you back in the Super League, in the ancient Super League, I remember when in the first at the beginning of the season when Cabo Warriors played Nkana Football Club. You remember? I think that was Dominic Chanda who did something to make sure that he had to save the team. So obviously, for me, I feel there's nothing wrong. He had to make sure that because he knew that the opponent was going to score. So obviously, he had to make sure that.
And I like the way he behaved. He didn't react and.
He had realized.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with Kuya Panu.
Yeah, look.
But is it allowed? Is it allowed?
You see, the opponent couldn't even react because obviously he was having a good day. He was enjoying, obviously. That was some gym session obviously happening. I sent the call phenomenon. So anyway, I think for me really, there was nothing wrong with this, and it was actually a good thing. If you actually look at the fans out there when the referee was,
he even gave him a hand.
If you actually look at the fans when the referee was flashing out the card, some of the fans were actually laughing because obviously they were having a good day. So really for me, I feel
really a fun time.
There was nothing wrong with this, but I mean
there was nothing wrong.
It was so smart of him anyway, doing that because he had to save his team. And I'm hoping that this should not happen in Zambia because Kabama Kofi, more than we have to get to the other two stories that we have in as far as what's training is concerned. Now, something funny, we have seen the issue of superstition continue in the Zambian Super League. Remember that we saw Power Dynamos refusing to enter the dressing room at Nakambala Stadium in Mazaboka because they feel some charms were planted in the in the dressing room, and we saw Zambian Super League manager Mr. Mlenga issuing his 10 warning to warn clubs that are not going to be entering the dressing room at Nakambala Stadium, that the association was going to punish them. But then we've still seen this continue. A Division 1 side, Mufulira Wanderers, they also didn't use the designated entrance that they were supposed to use because they believed that some charms were planted on the entrance. So really, and then we also saw Lumwana Radiance also, instead of using the main entrance where the players are supposed to come out from, but they opted to use, or rather jump over the gate, which I feel really, I think is not right, even though they feel Green Buffaloes had planted some charms in the dressing room. I think this should not be allowed. What if in an event that a player hits themselves? What happens? I think for me, this is not safe. This is uncalled for. And then also one funny thing, Ruth, is that the current coach for Lumwana Radiance is Bilton Musonda, and Bilton Musonda was a coach for Green Buffaloes. So I mean,
what's his take?
Why would he allow his boys to really behave like this? I think for me, more than I would love to engage Bilton and really find out why he had allowed his boys to behave like this. But for me, quickly, Ruth, I would love to hear your thought. What's your take on this, really? Do you think this is right for the boys to jump over the fence?
I don't think it's right. And we've seen this repeat every week. We have stories like, you remember the first story that we shared, the first time I appeared on the show, I shared a similar story to this. So this looks like it's a trend now. Like there's so much superstition and juju being, everywhere in the world of football, in Zambia specifically. So I think for me, I'm worried if this continues. I think this kind of mentality is that's what is dragging the Zambian football. I mean, if players can focus more on sharpening their skills on the pitch rather than thinking about who's there out there to get them, who's whatnot, I think really this should be condemned. And I hope FAZ steps in and try to put measures.
They've actually issued already. They've issued a stern warning modern to clubs, but then obviously they did issue to clubs that are supposed to go and play from Nakambala Stadium in Mazabuka. So I'm sure, looking at the way some of the teams have been misbehaving, I'm sure they will be able to issue another warning to clubs who are going to be involved. And I think this trend has really been, like Ruth has said, modern. It's really been happening in the Super League, and it's so bad at such a level that our league is being embarrassed. Remember that people out of the country are watching the league.
Yeah.
So really it's embarrassing to see such kind of behavior. Really, this is uncalled for.
Now imagine after jumping over the fence and then you go on to lose the game. Then what's the meaning?
And now that's what everybody's talking about on social media, to say, okay, what is the reason of being wasting the energy to jump the wall fence, or rather jump the gate, when initially they had even to lose? When they were saying Green Buffaloes had put charms and whatever, I think this is really uncalled for. And I think on behalf of Ruth Modern, I think on our program, we are tired of talking about superstitions. I mean, we need to talk about something else, for crying out loud.
Move on.
I think this is the last story that we should be talking about superstitions. The next time we're going to have any team involved, personally, I and Ruth are going to follow them and say, I think and but this is uncalled for, and really we're hoping that teams will learn their lesson and they should be able to do that. Quickly, our last story on what's trending modern. Finally, what everybody has been looking forward to. Amavike, the Zambian player who plays in the US, finally the minister did announce a few minutes ago on his social media page, modern, that finally the Zambian-born defender has been issued finally a Zambian
you should be very specific, Julius. Which minister? Is it Home Affairs or Sports?
No. The Minister of Sport, Honorable Elvis Nkandu, actually was very clear on his page, and I think that's some good news. This is what Zambians were looking forward to, because they really wanted this talented defender to come and play for the national team. Remember that he's only played for the national team once in an international friendly game, so he's never played any competitive game before. And really, I think this is really good news for Avram Grant, the new Chipolopolo coach, especially that the national team will soon be in action. Remember that they'll be playing Lesotho at Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifying matches. So really, this is good news. This is going to boost the morale of our national team, and we're hoping that the lad will be able to come and make the country proud. Remember that his fellow compatriot Frankie Musonda has been superb. He's been brilliant. So I know what he's capable of doing, and really this is good news, and we are going to support the boy, and we're looking forward to him play for the national team. Ruth, do you know this guy?
I do. This is Mabeka.
Yeah? Now, modern.
Okay, but Jonas, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
What are you seeing? His height.
So that's the Zambian height generally, that's
when you say that's the Zambian height, what do you mean?
I mean the general height in Zambia.
Don't take things personal.
He's born from the Congolese.
What are you saying about us?
He's born from the Congolese.
What are you saying
parents.
about us?
So
I mean,
that's the breed.
So you mean we're not Zambians?
I mean,
we have players like Lubambo Msonda. We have players like
you can see that's Prince Mumba, right?
Look at
that's Lamek Banda.
So that's Lamek Banda.
That's Lamek Banda in this team, and that's Kingsley Kangwa, and that's Lubambo Msonda.
And that's the Musonda behind there, Frankie Musonda.
So
you can see where they're ending on the shoulder here.
And I think for me, really, it's a good height, because this is what we need. We need a defender who's tall, who should be able to intimidate the opponent. So really, this is good news from the minister, and I think this height is good, especially for the defenders. I just hope that other defenders, like the likes of Tandi Mwape and other Zambian defenders, won't be intimidated by the height. I'm looking forward to see the partnership of him, Frankie Msonda, and Tandi Mwape, and the other defenders, to see how they're going to blend in and be able to play for the national team. But Modern, before we go, obviously, I know you're going to talk about this, but my colleague here supports a certain team that
Why can't you just say Manchester United?
recorded a good result.
Really?
So before we go,
Julius,
as we
we're going to talk
are
about that.
signing out Modern, I mean, I think it's good
Isn't
to
it
talk
time
about
up,
these
Modern?
things.
Modern.
It's so sad that my colleague Ruth's team was beaten yesterday by the struggling Liverpool. They managed to beat the well-doing Manchester
Julius,
United.
hold it.
But we should
We've
say
been-
that
we've been winning.
we should
We've
say that
been
we are
winning.
happy. We should say that we are
And
happy that
we
Ruth
only
actually
lost
made it
yesterday.
to the show this evening, Modern, because I actually thought she was not going to make it. But really, I think kudos to her, Modern. I think she deserves
Guys,
the that she made it.
spare me. Modern, please.
She deserves
I've
honor she
suffered a
had
lot
it.
of shame
But
on social
anyway,
media. I don't know how many
behalf
tags I
of-
got
on
last
Modern,
night.
On behalf of all the Manchester United fans, we're still behind them and rallying behind Manu, and this is
We'll
this is
come
not the
back.
end of the
We'll
road.
come
I know
back.
that they'll
Okay,
come back
guys.
strong.
Mari,
That's
don't
what we
put-
had in as far as what's training is concerned.
Marironi
Modern.
Pulila, and I see you in 7 days. The 7 that was given to Man U. See
Modern.
you.
You just made it worse. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Alright,
much.
So that was Julius Malulu and Ruth Kalibange who are giving us what is trending in sports. All right, so we go to another segment we call how much do you know your Zambian sportsmen and women? And last week I showed you a photo of a certain sportsman and I asked you to identify who that sportsman is. And unfortunately, well, I didn't receive any response regarding the player I showed you, but I'll give you the answer. So the player I showed you, that one, is Ian Bakala. That's Ian Bakala. So he is a former Zambian footballer who played as a midfielder and was born on 1st November 1980. So meaning he's 43 now. So he played as a midfielder and was part of the Zambian team which competed at the 2006 Africa Cup of Nations, which finished 3rd in Group C and was eliminated in the first round of the competition. He also took part at the 1999 FIFA World Youth Championship. Remember this team, this under-20 team did very well. At the Africa Cup, they finished in top 4 and then they went to the World Cup. But unfortunately, they didn't go to the quarterfinals like the 2017 team. Then in terms of the clubs that he played for, in 2001 to 2003, he played for Cabo Warriors. Then 2003 to 2004, went to Gemino Beerschot of Belgium. And then 2004 to 2005, played for Caps United in Zimbabwe. From Zimbabwe, he trekked to Angola. 2006 to 2008, he played for Primeiro de Agosto. 2009, played for Cabusco Sport Club do Palanca. In 2010 to 2012, he played for Progresso Sambizanga in Angola. Then 2014, he played for União Sport Club. Yes, that's in Angola, and that was his last club before he retired. So he's currently the coach for Forest Rangers. Right now, they are in 3rd position of the league. And he is also the under-17 coach. So he will be going to the Africa Cup of Nations in April with the under-17. So that's Ian Bakala. Today I have another photo for you to identify. Can you identify this man on the photo? He's a legend in Zambian football. Who is he? If you know him, well, then you know the number to call is 0211 25 30 25 or 0211 25 08 43, or you can send a WhatsApp message to 0955 20 29 04. On Facebook, it's Modern Sinkala Sports or Sports Hub Facebook page. So send us a message if you know that man. Who is he? That's a familiar face, I think, and I'm hoping to have an overwhelming response regarding that man. Okay, so we'll be waiting for your calls and messages. For now, we look at the results. We start with the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations, which is at the semi-final stage. At the quarter-final stage on Thursday, it was Senegal 1, Benin 0. Senegal 1, Benin 0. Then Uganda 0, Nigeria 1. Then on Friday, it was Gambia 5, South Sudan 0. Congo, Brazzaville 3, Tunisia 3. Then Tunisia won 5-4 on post-match penalties. in the semi-finals which are being played today, Senegal beat Tunisia by 3-0. Then in the second match, before I came on set, Gambia were leading Nigeria by 1-0. So I'm hoping the director, Bisani Mwale, will be able to help me with the result involving Nigeria and Gambia. I left it at 1-0, Gambia leading Nigeria by 1-0. We go to the MTN Super League Week 26 results on Saturday. It was Chambishi 0, Nkwazi 1, Green Buffaloes 2, Lumwana Radiants 1, then Cabo Warriors 0, Napsa Stars 1, Changa Rangers 2, Red Arrows 2, Nkana 1, Prison Leopards 1, Zanaco 1, Green Eagles 2, then Kansanshi Dynamos 1, Zesco United 0. This is a game which was played over 2 days, and Kansanshi won. So it was 1-0 on Saturday. On Sunday, Kansanshi finished the business. It was still 1-0. On Sunday, it was Forest Rangers 0, FC Muza 1, Buttecon 0, Power Dynamos 5. It was a thumping here. So let's see how they are looking on the table. I know that Power Dynamos are still leading, and they've opened up a 7-point lead, which is so huge. It will be difficult to catch up with them. It looks like this year may be the year for Power Dynamos. Let's look at the first National Division 1 League now, week 26. It was Young Green Buffaloes 0, Indeni 1, Kafue Celtic 0, Zesco Malaiti Rangers 0, City of Lusaka 1, Atletico Lusaka 0, Mutondo Stars 1, Aguila Stars 1, Lusaka Dynamos 1, Konkola Blades 2. On Sunday, it was Trident 1, Mufulira Wanderers 1, Jumulo 1, Kito United 1, Livingston Pirates 2, Mpulungu Harbour 0, Bats 1, Kafue Eagles 0. And with these results, the status quo didn't change on top of the table. So Trident are still on top, and they're still having that 5-point cushion. So Trident on top, Mufulira Wanderers in second position with that 5-point lead. So that is what happened. What is happening in the National Division 1 League? Let's go to the ABSA Cup this weekend. So the regular league going to be played Division 1 and Super League because there will be ABSA Cup. So on Saturday it will be Green Buffaloes versus Forest Rangers, Power Dynamos versus Mufulira Wanderers at 15 hours. This will be at Nkoloma Stadium, by the way. On Sunday it will be Green Eagles versus Trident at 13 hours, Red Arrows versus FC Muza at 15 hours. So all the best to the teams that will be taking part in this competition. From there, let's go to the Women's Super League Week 25 results. On Saturday, it was Busa Queens 0, Nkwazi 1, Green Eagles 1, Zesco Ndola Girls 6, Indeni Roses 0, Elite Ladies 1, National Assembly 0, Police Staffs 0, Played Forward 0, Yasa Queens 2, Trident 1, Queens Sports Academy 0. Then on Sunday, it was Mufulira Wanderers Women 1, Zanaco Ladies 2, then Red Arrows 1, Green Buffaloes 0. So Green Buffaloes had their first loss of the season. And so with that result, let's see how they are standing on the table. So Green Buffaloes are still on top of the table despite that loss. And they are followed by Red Arrows, then Zesco Ndola Girls. That is what is happening in the Women's League. And we wish the Copper Queens all the best as they go to the World Cup. Let's wind up with the English Premier League. Week 26 results, even as I wait for that under-20 result involving Nigeria and Gambia. So it was Southampton 1, Leicester City 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0, then Brighton and Hove Albion 4, West Ham 0, Chelsea 1, Leeds United 0, Arsenal 3, Bournemouth 2. Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 2, Newcastle United 0. Then on Sunday, Nottingham Forest 2, Everton 2, Liverpool 7, Manchester United 0. So the director is saying it has ended 1-0, is it? So meaning it's going to penalties now. Oh, 1-0, okay. So Gambia has won by 1-0. Remember, Gambia had yet to lose, and they were in the same group as Zambia, and they finished with 9 points. So they are in the final, and they'll be meeting Senegal. It will be an interesting final, this one, because both teams have done very well. So, yes, so we're talking about, so that's the updated result. So Senegal 3, Tunisia 0, then Nigeria 0, Gambia won. Wow, it will be an interesting final to watch between Gambia and Senegal. So in the English Premier League, Arsenal are still topping on the table. And, well, we'll see whether they will give up or not. But the point difference between them and Manchester City is 5 points. So that's what is happening in terms of the results. So for now, we go for a short break. And when we come back, I'll be introducing my guest in the studio. As TV3, we're at the center of sports. Let's kick off together.
Professional golfers strike and discuss business on a golf course. As TV3, we're there to offer you a platform to putt for a high score.
As we shoot and aim high.
We shall aim to putt for a right foot.
As TV3, we are moving at high speed with you.
All this and much more exclusive on TV3. TV3, discover the difference.
Okay, thank you for staying with us. Time for me to introduce my guest in the studio. He's a special guest. He's coming from Brazil. And all of you know what Brazil can do in terms of football. So he was playing in Brazil and also Portugal, but he's in Zambia. He's the technical director for Kafue Celtic. And I must tell you that in the last 4 games, Kafue Celtic have not lost a game. They've even beaten teams like Mufulira Wanderers. So my guest tonight is Almeida. Well, let me welcome him on set. Well, good to have you. Welcome to Zambia.
Thank you so much. Thank
All
you
right.
for inviting me.
Okay, you're most welcome. You can take your seat here as we have a
Here or
conversation.
Here?
Yes, anywhere.
Okay, close to you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right. Welcome to Zambia.
Thank you so much. I'm feeling very welcome here.
All right. So tell us more about yourself, who you are, when you were born, where you were born, and tell us about your family as well.
Yes, I'm born in the Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where is the Maracanã, one of the most famous stadiums in the world. So I'm a former football player. I play in Brazil in some clubs and Portugal as well. And I'm also a professor of physical education. I made my graduation in the Porto University in Portugal, Porto. And after my graduation, I stopped to play football, and I work in the Porto, and it's a top club in Europe.
Mm-hmm. And before we come to your professional career, I would like to know more about your family and when you were born and how your upbringing was.
Yes, my family is still living in Brazil. My father is a professor, and my brother is he work with marketing, and my sister is a lawyer, and my mother is just do house things. And so they are in the Espírito Santo, is a state close to the Rio de Janeiro, is a seaside, it's a nice place to be, a beach city.
Mm-hmm. So you can mention them one by one, their names and all that.
Yeah, my mother
Start with the one standing in the white shirt.
My sister, Renata, is a lawyer. She's live in the south, in Brazil. My brother,
in the middle,
Hamilton, is work with marketing. And my father in the green shirt is a history professor, and also is working in the Navy in Brazil. And my mother is just hard work. She's still at home.
Okay, so how many are you in your family?
We are 5. But yeah, my first family, because I came from this family, but now I had another family with my wife and kid.
Oh, so you are married now? Okay.
Yeah, I'm married. My wife, I brought my wife to Zambia. She didn't just here. She asked to come back, and now they are in Brazil. In the middle is my kid, Laura. She came as well. She started to learn English. But unfortunately, my wife asked to come back to Brazil, and now they are there, and I'm here working.
Oh, lovely family. What's the name of your wife and your kid?
Daniele and Laura. And there's coming one baby, Teodoro, made in Zambia.
There's a baby on your way.
Yeah, in the way.
The baby on the way.
Yeah. We discovered the pregnancy here in Lusaka. And now she is waiting for delivery, perhaps this month or next month. She have 8 months of pregnancy.
Oh, right. And that's her there. Wow.
Yeah, big belly with my mother. I can tell you, it's a Zambian baby. Was made here.
But the child has to be born here so that he can be Zambian.
Yes, I tried to convince her to deliver the baby here. She didn't accept it, and I tried also to get a Zambian name, like Liuando, Dalito, a lot of Zambian name, but she didn't accept. She accepted only Theodore. So
Right.
Theodore.
Right. So at least you have a girl and then
Now
maybe
he's a boy.
coming
Perhaps
on the
a footballer as well.
way. Right. Okay, great. Great to know your family. So tell us how you started football and who inspired you to get into football?
Yes, I started football in Brazil with 9 years old, and I played in a lot of clubs in Brazil. So after I become professional, and I play in some clubs in Brazil, and I came to Europe. I went to Europe to play in Portugal in 2002. So I played there, and I make my faculty together. I studied and played. So after I worked in Porto, I came back to Brazil, and I worked in Botafogo, a top club as well in Brazil. And after this, I stopped a little bit just to make some studies, because I made my master's degree in Portugal. I made another master's degree in Brazil. I made my PhD stage, 4 years of study. I'm a PhD in physical education.
Okay.
So after the PhD, I made another stage, and I come back to work with football again.
Okay, but you haven't still answered me. Who inspired you to get into football? Who are you looking up to? Who are you admiring that I would want to be like that player?
I want to be Zidane or Ronaldo. Ronaldo, the real one.
There's a real one and the fake one?
Yeah,
Which
I'm
one
just
is
joking.
real?
Yeah, it's a Mourinho joke when he spoke about Cristiano Ronaldo. We know Cristiano Ronaldo is a legend, but I'm inspired by Ronaldo, Romario, Bebeto, and other players like Gotardo. He's a central defender in Brazil. Also inspired by Zidane. I try to copy Zidane all the time. Zidane for me wasn't my biggest hero.
Okay, so you started out as a striker.
Yes, I was a striker, and I finished my career as a midfielder.
Okay, but you haven't mentioned the legend Pelé.
Pelé, Pelé is in another level. Is above them. Yeah, Pelé is another level. Pelé is a national hero. When he died, everyone mourned for days in Brazil. The people love Pelé, and Pelé will be remembered always as the best of all of them. So Pelé is a legend.
Okay, so tell us about your progression. How did you progress? Did you start from an academy? Tell us the academy you went to, then which club you went to next. So tell us the progression, how you progressed from one club to the other.
I have 43 years old, and in the 80s when I started to play football, there's no academy so sophisticated as we have today. So I started with some coaches, an amateur coach that taught me a lot of football, skills and drills, like the Brazilian loves to do skills and technical things. And it was a simple school, but I had a coach. He's Mr. Ivan. We call him Ivan. Is a Russian name. Ivan was a reference as a coach, as a human being as well. I'm a friend of his son until today. So I started a simple school. After I went to several clubs in Brazil, top clubs in the youth at this age.
Which club is that one?
Is actually is a Brazilian tournament of all faculties, university tournament. I sent this picture for you because I was chosen as the best player of this competition.
Oh, wow!
The best player of Brazil of universities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was chosen by the best player.
The best university player. How many goals did you score?
I don't remember. I scored a lot of goals this competition, and I was the best player between the students in Brazil.
Right.
That's why I sent this picture to you.
Okay. By then you had not joined a club.
Yeah, no. This was in the club. I was in Serra. It's a club from the 3rd division at this moment in Brazil. And after this club, I went to Portugal to play in Leixão. It was a 2nd division club in Portugal, which is a good level. So after this, I started moving in 3rd division, 2nd division, until I finished my career with 28 years old.
Okay. Did you ever play for a big club in the Super League, like maybe Santos and other?
I wish. I wish to play with them. It's very hard in Brazil. The competition is very youth. I played in youth in Flamengo. It's a top club in Brazil, but not so for a long time, for a short time. Also in Vitória is a club from Salvador. It is a top club as well, but not so long time.
Which club is that one?
That's Ismoriz in Portugal. It's a 2nd division in Portugal. It's a 2005, big hairs, 20 kilos less. I was very skinny.
So Division 2, that is like, in Zambia it could be Division 1, like Division 2 as well?
Yeah, Division 2 as well. Yeah, like a Kafue Celtic is playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I can see something peculiar about you. You used to have dreadlocks?
Oh, a lot of dreadlocks. I had a lot of pictures, dreadlocks. How I say the black, I forgot the name. Dreadlocks. I try to copy also African style, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had a lot of African players play with me. We made friendship. Brazil and Africa identified so well, so I always try to copy the African guys.
Okay.
At least in the hair style.
Okay, so do you think you were not maybe good enough for you to break into big teams?
Oh yes, I was good to go to the 1st league, and Brazil also, and in Portugal. I had an invitation to a top club in Brazil in 2002, but I did prefer to go to Portugal, because Portugal was a nice opportunity to play in Europe. It's very hard at that moment. It was very hard to go to the Europe. It was a rare chance. So when I went to Portugal, I suffered a lot of injuries. Even like that, I was observed by top clubs there, but I never had this chance to play in top level because of my back. My low back is a problem until today. I felt pain in my low back, so I need to do gym. I need to care about myself. I can't be fat because I had a lot of pain in my back.
So you retired because of injury?
Yeah, injuries. That's why I stopped with 28 years old.
Okay.
2008, I stopped to play.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you find yourself in Zambia? How did Kafue Celtic support you?
Oh, that's a very good question. You know, when I finished my PhD degree, I was in Brazil working with in the health service, and suddenly I was out of football, tried to get a chance again to work with football. Suddenly, one friend of mine, he came to Zambia to make a consultancy to Kafue Celtic. And he came to here, and he invited me to come together because they need some people to work with the tactical aspect, to help the coach to develop these tactical skills, playing skills, to improve the training process. So I came in March of the last year with Canote together, and then Nico is a French guy, and we worked together to make like a workshop with the coach. It's actually 1 year ago. That's funny. It's making 1 year ago, 1 year in this week. So I made a lot of drills with the coach. I made speeches, and I try to change experience with the coach, and they enjoyed my work here. So after this experience, they invited me to come back for once to work here in the Kafue Celtic, as a technical director, trying to make the coaches improve their skills, like I said. So that's why I came. I never heard about Lusaka, I do confess. Zambia, I knew Zambia, but Lusaka I never heard about. It's the first time when I researched in Google, what is Lusaka? So I'm very happy to be here.
Great. So when you found, when did you come, by the way?
Sorry?
When did you come? When did
July,
you join the team?
July of last year.
Oh, July last year. So you are in Zambia for about 8 months or so.
Yes, 8 months, yeah.
When you found the team, what things did you find that were lacking that you needed to supplement?
Well, first is a formation process. This is the most important
And we
things.
can see you there trying to run through.
Yeah, this is a video analysis. We were the first club. We were the first club in Zambia to do it. A video analysis, video assessment, assessment for the opposite team. We improvise in the wall just to make the players see themselves play. That's a very good feedback to them, to make them feel, to make them know they better. I don't know how to say it. So they start to know themselves better after the videos. They start to improve their skills. So when I came to Zambia, realized that we are missing a lot of formation process, because I realized we have a lot of formal play, which is not bad. As a coach, as a manager, as everything, but we need to improve the formation process. It's not about only curves provided by the Zambia Federation. It's also faculties like physical education, sport management, make a graduation with a lot of disciplines, can make them be well prepared to work with sports. This is the first point that I realized it's lacking here in Zambia.
Okay. How are you working with the coaches? Since you're the technical director, how are you working with the coaches, Job, Walia, Francis Sinyangwe, and the rest?
Oh, that's Joy, or the coach Francis, are legend as well. The people love them, I love them, and it's a pleasure to work with them. Joel is a friend of mine. We start to make friendship, and he's a top club, he's a top coach, as France as well, Coach France as well. Both are top coach. They are very observant. They are very good in the people management. They are very experienced. So in this kind of relationship, I try to challenge them. Because everyone is good, but we have always a way to improve. That's why I'm challenging Coach Joel, Coach Francis. Let's do better. Let's improve this. Let's try to make this different. So I think my arrival here make them improve a lot, and at the same time they talk to me a lot. I learn a lot with them.
Okay, so even as we'll be looking at some of the highlights, the games that we've showed on TV, you played Trident, lost by 1-0.
Oh my
You
God.
played Mufrida Wanderers, you won by 1-0 through a penalty.
Yeah.
You played Jesco Malaiti Rangers, it was 0-0. In all these games, I've noticed that Kafue Celtic have played very well, but in front, it's very difficult to score. What has been the challenge?
Yeah, the challenge is in the moment of the competition we are now, we are facing a lot of anxiety. It's more emotional than tactical. We create opportunity. You can see we create a lot of chance. Our players are very skillful, very clever, very intelligent guy, very dedicated in the training. That's why we control all the games. But the question always is anxiety. They are young. They are improving every day. If you keep those same players for more time, you can see they improve little by little, and you can see they improve the left third behavior. which is our challenge now. So we just need a little bit of patience there and a little bit more of objective, to the goal to score more goals, I believe.
Okay. What qualifications do you have in coaching?
Coach, and I have a B level from the Portuguese Federation, is a WEF as well.
All right.
So I had a lot of courses as a coach as well, but not so important as those levels. And by the way, I'm asking the documents to apply here in Zambia, and I'm trying to, to make some courses here as well.
Okay. How far do you want to go in coaching? What's your ultimate goal in football?
I want to be at Manchester United, Liverpool, Barcelona, I'm very ambitious. I want to be in top level clubs. I feel very happy here in Kafue Celtic. It's a dream came true, like the invitation, the challenge is what I expected in my life.
Okay, look at this game. Your countryman, Cruz, look at that chance that he had.
Oh,
and
yes.
he fluffed.
Oh, yes. He was offside at this moment, but he missed the timing. I spoke to him after. He told me he just waiting for Emmanuel Mwanza pass the ball a little bit earlier.
Look at this one.
Yeah.
Look.
Oh,
there.
Yeah. He lost the time. He said he thought Emmanuel was about to score, to shoot the goal.
Yeah.
So it's a very good chance he lost.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do some ball juggling. I want to see if you still have the skills in ball juggling. So
that's a challenge, man.
So
if
how
my
far do
back
you think,
allow me?
with you around, how far do you think Kafue Celtic can go? Because right now they are near the relegation zone.
Yeah, well, I believe we can try to get the accesses to the first Super League also, still, because we had a lot of points ahead. We are improving, not lost point, not losing game,
Okay, so show us some ball juggling
Oh my God,
skills.
that's a challenge, man.
1,
I wasn't-
2, 3,
I wasn't
4,
expecting for
5,
that.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much. I can see you are good.
Thanks so much for the invitation.
You are
Thank
very
you.
good at what you do. All right,
thank you so much.
what language do you use? Even as we go, do you use Bemba Nyanja to give instructions?
No, I'm learning Nyanja. I'm speaking Fika, passa a bola, Iwe, Naiwe, Awe, those things.
Ziko Mokwambiri. So this is our guest for today. I was hosting Rodrigo Almeida.
Yes.
He is from Brazil. Until next week at the same time, join us. My name is Modern Sinkala. Goodbye.